May 1st would be considered by many to be a celebration of sorts. And these are in the occult circles, Satanism, in Wiccan. Yeah, I guess it's part of like a solstice, but it's called Beltane in some cultures, in which they worship fertility worship, the sun god, male, female, duality worship. But it's actually a known date for inside Satanists for child sacrifices. Not that they do that today, but you know what I mean. This has been a day designated. It's also the founding of the infamous Illuminati. And we would talk about the Illuminati. Some kind of classify the Illuminati as this illuminous background secret society that permeates between cultures of politics and entertainment, and Jay-Z's an Illuminati, Beyonce and Madonna, they're all Illuminati. It's not really the Illuminati, and when you see the Illuminati AM or IM site, it's sort of a facade. It's a joke on the original Illuminati, and some say that that's a legitimate Illuminati group, and there are many, but we have some indications that there was Illuminati back in the early centuries. There were the Illuminates or the Gnostics and such. And then in the year 1000 something, the Illuminati came forth in certain groups. And then in the 1500s, we had the Los Alumbrados, the Spanish Illuminati. But when we talk about the Illuminati today, we're talking about the Adam Weishaupt, ex-Jesuit, if you want to say X, because no one's really an X, they just basically disbanded in 1773 and then infiltrated the Freemason societies through the Illuminati, the Bavarian Illuminati, that Adam Weishaupt founded on May 1st, 1776, which he declared for the New World Order. He put together a bunch of his friends, his wealthy elitists that were part of bloodlines, and the bankers and such, and put them together and formed what's called the Perfectibilists, in which he gave it the order a name, calling it the Ancient Illuminate Seers of Bavaria. So it was the Bavarian Illuminati that we speak of when we speak it today. And it was found out in the before the French Revolution, in threat that there was going to be a French Revolution planned by the Illuminati members, in which many people dismissed it. Their documents were found on, I guess, Jacob Lanz, I think is his name. I've done a write-up on it. And he was incidentally struck by lightning while delivering Illuminati plans from one agency to another. And it was discovered of their secret plans, in which the governments didn't take it seriously at the time. And in 1785, the Illuminati broke up, but they went into hiding. And where they hid was Adam Weishaupt in 1777 already infiltrated the Freemason lodges, and he drafted them, recruited them towards his more ancient, real observances that he claimed were better than the Freemasons, and he formed his group as an inner circle within a secret society. And in 1798, a book came out by John Robeson about the Illuminati, exposing their plans as they recited to him. They recited the whole plans. They didn't write it down anymore, but they recited it. And he wrote down all the notes that he took and put it in a book called Proofs of the Conspiracy. And in Proofs of the Conspiracy, it talks about the Illuminati, their plans to take over the streams of information and libraries and use briberies and bring together this order of a one world government. These plans were given to George Washington, and George Washington received the intel about this, but he denied that the Illuminati infiltrated the American lodges, so he dismissed it. But then come to find out, on his deathbed, he was given the last rites by the Jesuit priests. So maybe he was a Jesuit. Maybe he was a Jesuit leg of the Illuminati. But incidentally, that's what this May 1st celebrates to them. And it was also the founding of communism. Communism was a construct within the Illuminati's one world government, because once they had a centralized government, they can form a pseudo-government of communism, and they tried it out in little beta tests, like in Russia and then in China, and I think that's what that was all about. But they hid, so they didn't be known as the Illuminati. They hid within other councils, like the Round Table, the British International Affairs, and the American leg of Intel and all that, called the Council on Foreign Relations, where they recruited a lot of top executives of different sectors of society, gave them instructions towards spoon-feeding socialism to the nation, since the nation would not accept the League of Nations. And in 1945, they were able to have a case for the United Nations. And I think that this is just another organization of sort of the Illuminati sects, even though the United Nations was actually governed and dictated by an inside group organization for esoteric occultism and Luciferian initiation, and they were called Lucis Trust. Lucis Trust changed their name from Lucifer Publishing because it was too obvious, and they actually governed some of the boards of the policies in the United Nations. I used to have documents that showed that they had departments within the United Nations, but they've since been scrubbed. I remember seeing in the pamphlet files this stuff about Tara Center and Findhorn Foundation and the arcane schools in which they instructed members of politics. And they still have a meditation room in the United Nations. The library used to be housed in the United Nations, and they moved it. But they still have close associations. The director of planetary initiation, led by David Spangler, was within the United Nations for a Luciferian society. And some aspects are still spelled out within policies of the United Nations. And this was brought into the regulations of environmentalism under the guise of Environmentalism Agenda 21, which was founded or written by Maurice Strong, a strong member of, no pun intended, of the Theosophists and the Golden Dawn, in which he was also a member of the New Age and Lucis Trust. So this all comes full circle, and they're kind of, associated as the Illuminati were Luciferians. They were masters. The Illuminates is holders of the light, and the light bearer is Lucifer. That's what their name actually represents. And they led the Enlightenment, the Age of Enlightenment. This was to actually counter Christianity, to bring light and reason and science to kind of come up with a non-supernatural claim of naturalism for society, disregarding God as a sovereign being. But they certainly will raise up Lucifer. So I don't know what they're trying to pull, but that's what it's all about. And my website is jimdukeperspective.com. You can check it out and find out how to contact me through that site. Read my articles. I write articles about this kind of stuff. And we also bring a rational voice to a world of conspiracy of different current events that are going on. And I sort of divide between the fiction, the fabrications, and try to get down to the facts and the truth. See you next time. God bless.